Legendary teams, major players, and electrifying tactical action are back in CSGO Regional Major Rankings 2021. From June 27th till July 4th, 10 teams will clash in the thrilling showdown for the prize pool of $100,000 and slots at the PGL Major Stockholm 2021. Who will win more rounds? Who will show the most furious play? And who will claim the major prize? Find out at the CSGO Regional Major Rankings 2021. And don't forget to reload.
Good morning, or I suppose afternoon, to be fair to our overseas viewers, Jason, because truthfully we are talking to a CIS audience. We should probably respect their time zones, but it is in the morning for us. We're up, we're ready, and we get some Counter-Strike to start off the day, which I think is pretty exciting as we get into day number 3 now of the CIS RMR, the regional major ranking system, and we've got some storylines already. Obviously, NAVI yesterday struggling to close out a game. 100 Ping Gods looking decent, and Tropic do get another win. But NAVI, I feel bad for because they've had to play arguably the 2 best teams in this RMR, played them very well, and yet come out with nothing to show for it.
The nice thing for them is, like, yeah, they're sitting at a position of what, like 0-2 in the group, but I mean, like you said, they played the 2 hardest teams already, so it can only get easier. Like they can only do better things from here. You'd hope. So at least the road is a little bit lighter. Yeah, maybe they can't only do better, but at least the road gets easier for them, so they have better opportunities. As for NAVI, I'm actually not super worried. I think NAVI is a team I've just gotten so used to over the years, coming into events and being like, yeah, that first game, second game, they looked a little bit sluggish. They looked a little bit up and down. That seems to be, par for the course for NAVI. I expect them to bounce back, and we can check out the standings here as we were just addressing them. Now, these aren't win-losses. These are map wins and map losses, not series wins and series losses, just so you guys are all aware. But Gambit's up there at the top, 4-1. Fours is there as well, 2-0. We're going to see them play later on today. And then NAVI, 2-1, dropping a map yesterday as well. On the other side, it's Team Spirit at the top of Group B. They're also at the top of the RMR rankings of the CIS region overall. So they've got to be pretty happy with that, despite a sloppy start to the event for them as well.
Yeah, sloppy start, but like you say, they're one of the fortunate teams that got some of the carryover points, did very well in the last RMR, and that's relevant to them. I mean, that is very important because a slow start here, there's other teams still trying to play catch up with them. So they're already in a great spot. And like we say, and I'll continue to harp on the storyline, and I know sometimes we get repetitive with storylines, but this is a reset, and I mean that in more ways than just the fact that the majors are resetting, but for the entire CS scene. I'm trying to look for a silver lining because, look, the pandemic's been difficult, but we have a chance to actually reset the rankings and teams that otherwise felt locked out, given, that there was already an establishment of teams going to LANs, getting invite for LANs, because remember, that's one of the other things too with the trends of how teams are performing, is that LANs, like, let's say StarLadder right now, they want to plan an event. They've got to start planning. They got to book hotels. They've got to get travel. They've got to get a venue. They've got to get everything ready. And that takes months. And in order to make that event work, you've got to invite teams. So oftentimes the invites are sent out months before an event. So even if you get really good and you peak and you start playing really well, it's going to be months that you have to stay that consistent before you're going to start getting those invites. So it's kind of a nice reset for everyone, I think, and it could be really good. Here's our schedule on the mainstream. We've got Akuma going up against Knowledge Vincera, which is obviously a spicy one for reasons that Blade made apparent, saying they're one of the weaker teams in this event. Obviously, they upset NAVI last time in the RMR, so that'll be interesting, Jason. And then Fours versus Gambit.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a real sneaky matchup as well. Actually, I mean, I probably shouldn't do this, but the match of the day I think is actually on the other stream. It's Virtus Pro versus Spirit. We touched on that. I know we touched on Navi's like looking a little bit sloppy. We touched on Spirit looking a little bit sloppy, but for some reason I feel bad we didn't mention Virtus Pro because they also dropped their opening match to the 100 Ping Gods, lost that best of 3 series, and now they're staring Spirit in the face, who's can easily do some damage. So that almost feels like actually a must-win game for the VP guys over there on the other stream. But yeah, let's sink our teeth into this one. You touched on it. An upset last week, Akuma beating NAVI 2-0, and it's a pretty convincing 2-0. 16-10 win on Dust 2, 16-2 win on Mirage.
Yeah, that's massive. That's a bad day for NAVI, great day for Akuma, and there's been a lot of controversy among these two teams. A lot of stuff said online about Akuma specifically. I'm not going to get into it because honestly I haven't followed it all, but also it's irrelevant. Right now, all that matters is what happens today in this RMR. And I know Blade's been harping on about it. They're one of the weaker teams, all sorts of things along those lines. Yeah, well, now time to prove it. Not time to step up. And I honestly think yesterday, NAVI, I mean, they should be paying our salaries because we went overtime because of them. Not literal overtime, but we went really far in that game because they should have closed that out in 2, and they struggled in both of the second and third maps.
Yeah, I think from now on when I do CIS events, if I do another CIS RMR, I'm just gonna charge by the round. I'm gonna change my rates. That's what we need to do. 5 overtimes. I think I've casted 8 overtimes so far. It's been all these matches that we've casted on this mainstream, at least, and Vince and I on the first day have been close. These are coming down to it. So a lot of really cool talent in the CIS region. NAVI, obviously, you know, Simple is a big name we talk about. Electronic, a big name that we can talk about a bunch. It was Boomich for me yesterday who kind of picked it up when they needed it the most. That third map in Mirage, those impactful entry kills in middle, like 3 rounds in a row, huge. They'd love another performance out of that. No surprise out of the Vetoes so far. Even Akuma picking this after that 16-2 win, that makes sense. Although you have to imagine Navi way better on that map than that 16-2 loss shows. And a comfort pick for Navi as well. Nuke, a map that Simple himself is just a beast on. Going to be real tough to penetrate that Navi defense if he's on point with the ult.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that there was certainly... Oh, I've got to restart my game, Jason. Apparently, I didn't update last night. No, I think like we said... oh, wow, we've already got a map veto coming in as well. So let's talk about this, because Overpass, Vertigo... Okay, so we got Mirage and Nuke coming out again. So not 2 maps we didn't see yesterday. Dust 2 gone. Is this the one? Does Ancient get floated? No. Okay, Akuma's going to take it out. So we get Inferno. We've seen some pretty standard maps so far in CIS, to be fair. And the fact that not a lot of Vertigo yet, and no Ancient so far on the A stream. I don't think the B stream's seen it yet either. But yeah, back to your point about the AWP, certainly there's things to talk about there, because yesterday we saw some double up setups that were really difficult for Navi to deal with, and despite, you know, individual skill being so high on Navi, they were getting matched yesterday by Nemiga in a lot of those duels.
Yeah, that was a tough game for them for sure. But you know, close win, we'll take it anyways. I'm just looking at the last matchup these two teams played. Sensei had a big game for Akuma, Psycho as well, but it was mostly Sensei leading the way. The rest of the team was just kind of solid right behind him as well. I think the map veto is interesting. You know, Mirage, I understand why Akuma went to it, and also it doesn't have a great win percentage for Navi as well, though they face a pretty high tier of competition. But Inferno, Nuke, 2 of their best maps. They're 2 best maps in their entire pool statistically. So that's got to be comfortable for Navi going down the stretch. If there is going to be some kind of hiccup on Mirage, at least they know they can end this series with 2 maps that they're going to be very, very good on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something you have to look into. And again, these map vetoes aren't anything unreasonable. There's lots of sample size on it. I was kind of wishing we'd see more Ancient this week, but I understand why we're not, right? Like we saw a lot of it at Gamers Without Borders, and that's a charity event, and there's still a lot to play for, because I think that charity event is I mean, it's cool that it's as important to charity, but I think that a charity event's well timed in the fact that we have a LAN in a week right now. Obviously, IEM.
Yeah, good way to play yourself back into shape.
Exactly, and I think teams like NIP, look, they were just messing around and having some fun, and even teams like Big, Searson was being really aggressive with the AWP through smokes and things you wouldn't normally see, but there was also moments where it was very clear, especially in the finals, that both teams were trying very hard, and it was a shape-up event in a lot of ways, and teams were using it because it was a charity and had no correlation with the rankings, to try the map pool out, and that's why we saw a lot of Vertigo, a lot of Ancient, and I think that maybe that set my precedence a little high for how much we're going to see it, but I do think it's a good map. I think any team that was good on Cash has a very good, I think, sort of blueprint on how Ancient can be approached and can actually be started to be played, because again, the meta has to develop. I think there's a few changes that need to be made in the bomb sites, more coverage in the B bomb site. A could be maybe brought back further to the corner. I know I'm getting off topic because we don't have it in this particular.
I like it. I like the.
No, I know. We don't have it in this best of 3, but it's a cool talking point, because I love when new maps come in, and I actually think Ancient is not perfect, but it's very good for the start. And I think that I'd love to see some more teams start bringing it in now, because look, the majors It's October. I know that sounds like it's a long way away. I, in 2020, said I was going to get a lot of things done on a to-do list, and it's now June of 2021, and I haven't. So that's how fast time moves, Jason. That or I'm just really lazy, or both.
Yeah, so at least you know that it's not because you just didn't have enough time that you haven't gotten anything accomplished.
No, it's ridiculous.
It's
all
just,
those complaints
general
about me not
procrastination
getting edits done. Yeah, this time was procrastination. I had no excuse this time.
Yeah, so. Exactly. I don't think anyone did. That's the worst part. No one has any excuses. Yeah, I think we'll see more. I think Ancient is a map that's going to get played, between top teams at the moment. I think it's going to be some time before we see some of these other teams that we're seeing in this tournament, like the second tier, the third tier teams, like as you drop down the rankings. I think it takes longer for them to adapt because they're going to steal and pick and choose things that they like the top teams being done. And I think right now the professional teams certainly have to have noticed historically what an advantage it can be to be one of the first teams to bring those new maps into your map pool effectively. That's, I think we'll be seeing pro teams, test that more and work on it more and try and find a way to get Ancient into the pool quicker. But you're right.
Well,
I think, yeah. Go on.
I think as well, tier 2 teams like to be the first to do that because first and foremost, they're not seeing structured competition that necessarily is going to smoke them, and they have to play perfect to beat. You see a lot of inconsistency in the tier 2, and also they'll look at it as a way of saying, hey, well, if we do play some tier 1 teams, this might be a feather in our cap. This might be the way we can beat them. We can throw a curveball. I typically see a team, I don't know, we'll throw a number on it, outside of the top 15 in the rankings, be the first to sort of bring those maps in. So it'll be interesting. I threw an arbitrary number, but that seems about right.
Listen, every number we throw on these broadcasts is relatively arbitrary, so no worries. I like it. I'm really intrigued by this one. I feel like this should be some kind of a grudge match for NAVI. I feel like this should be some kind of this is got to be a matchup in this that they knew was going to happen eventually, and it's one that you probably circle on the schedule and say if we're going to come in like all guns blazing, swinging right out of the gates, that it's going to be this match right here against Akuma, and I hope we can kind of see that sort of intensity in the gameplay of NAVI. That's what I'd like, coming right into it, is just see them being assertive, seeing them knowing that they should be the dominant team, knowing that they should be the better and more experienced players, and really flexing those advantages.
I think they have to. I mean, if Blade's going to go on record publicly and state that, he thinks that this is one of the weaker teams, and then they get smoked by them, like you said not too long ago, I think you said a week ago, you kind of have to. You can't play like yesterday and let your guard down. You can't let the economy slip out. You got to play super disciplined. And set a message from the very start. Now, NAVI did finish on this map last night. It took them a while to get there against Amiga.
Yeah, it wasn't clean, was it?
It wasn't clean. It should have been, because Simple started out so well. We had Perfecto playing excellent, I thought, in the B site, and yet they just lost a lot of advantageous situations where, even to Ecos, right? I mean, they were 2 kills up on a B take with Mac 10s against them, and suddenly they lose the round, like in the blink of an eye. Electronic as well thought a player had rotated over toward quad, and I get that he thinks that if he's at the pillar, he's trying to open the angle up, but at the same time didn't play it safe, considering he didn't have that information. There might have been a missed call from his teammate. Maybe he heard something we didn't. So, okay, fair play. If he's 100% convinced he's there, I understand the mentality, but he didn't play it safe. If he didn't know he was there and he was gambling, it wasn't a safe position to be in. So there was lots of little things they could have tightened up on that. If this was a major final, I would have gone, geez, man, you kind of threw that away in a lot of ways. Not the throw that we all meme, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was theirs to win.
Yeah, they got busted by a few gimmicky things as well early on, and I mean that's one of the dangers against going up against teams like this and teams like 100 Ping Gods. NAVI doesn't play them super frequently, maybe a couple times here and there in practice, but those kind of gimmicky plays sometimes you don't really always expect them to come out, and they can really catch you off guard. We'll have to see how they do against Akuma. You're right, they finished on this map last night. Wasn't great, wasn't clean. They're going to start on the CT side here today to open up this series against Akuma, trying to get some revenge from a month ago when Akuma took him out 2-0 in the previous RMR.
See what they come up with off the start. One decoy on the T side. They've gone for armor, so this will be a bit brawly as they want to get inside of the site. Sensei, meanwhile, already out at Sandwich. He's going to find Boomich turning back toward Palace. He's got Bit as well. That's a great entry over toward the A site. Really struck him. Even though they're in on the B site, this is still going to weaken the defense. They're not sure where they want to go with this. Bomb's going to plant now. It's already inside of the quad, so they've got coverage toward Checker. But there was a moment where he thought, hey, Why aren't we going back toward A? As Perfecto still has Catwalk. Jackie is going to be the next one in line as Simple gets toward window. Electronic, good entry. Now it's turning around for Navi as Simple gets to the window. Perfecto never moved from Cat, and it's suddenly Sensei who's got to rotate back through Palace, and they're already on the defuse. They do not have a kit, so this is 10 seconds. That gives them a bit of time. A bit of time indeed. Don't fight that, man. Go for the diffuser. That's exactly what Sensei had to do. Smart play. And Perfecto, who started this all off by staying alive, gets erased in one bullet.
Holy hell.
That was an ace.
Yeah, that's an ace. That's a pistol round and a half from Sensei. He's coming from the other side of the map where he gets the 2 entry kills. Navi have to know he's either coming at halls or you're going to have a great spot towards Catwalk. There's really only one place he could have gone to win that. Beautiful duels at the 8 bomb site, and Navi drop a 3v1.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, they turned that around so well. I genuinely thought this is it. They got the round back. And then all he does is kill, I mean, the diffuser kills the big one, but kills the one under quad, excuse me, and they just can't rotate back. I mean, that's really, really good play from Sensei. That'll send a message. One of the weakest teams, and Sensei aces you in the first round.
Well, they got to build upon it. That's been a difficulty throughout this RMR. Bit right behind the edge of the smoke. Got to pop up. Bombs down on top of the platform. That's huge. Actually, it might have rolled off, but still, all the kills are coming out. Good damage with utility while they're stuck in the halls. And again, I mean, despite a little bit of early success from Akuma, despite getting some ground gained out of the window, Navi comes back and shuts it all down real quick. And this time, there's no magic to be had. I mean, look, even with the pistol round loss, feels like 2 pretty convincing rounds for Navi that they've been able to stop the main portion of the attack. If it's not for the heroics, this is obviously 2-0. And here again, Navi's going to get started on a good foot in the second round. They turn it right back.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is still a great round to turn things around with, and now they've got an AK picked up. Simple 1 kill on the FAMAS. Everyone with a kill except for Boomage, so he could get what we call the team ace if he's able to find the last remaining player and
give it to him. Give it to him, baby.
We'll see. We'll see. Mac 10, try and farm up a little bit of money. You got some on either side now because they've obviously carried them over, but
this is a really ambitious play from Sergez. I mean, I know, there's not really a whole lot of good options or right plays you can make, but that this is a long flank that he's just hoping to take 1 gun away, maybe right at the end, catch Electronic sleeping. That's not going to happen. Would be nice. It is the AK-47 if he could have taken that away, but 1-1.
Yeah, great turnarounds. So Sensei, the hero so far, has all but 1 kill. Dem managed to get 1 on the board that round. And so far, you have to say, in terms of team, yeah, you're right. Navi has looked pretty good. Even in the round they lost, sure, they lost to an ace. Sensei plays brilliantly, but overall, they did win that round, if not for some heroics. So, looking like a good start. We'll see if they can continue on this momentum as they face now only pistols, 2 Tech 9s, 2 Deagles, and a P250 for Psycho.
Ooh, here we go. Perfecto's going to have a lot to do. Staying in the corner, tucked in, a little bit blind. Oh, but the follow-up is so late. Still gets the kill, but Bit hasn't really peaked yet. And actually, he's looked a little bit nervous as he's getting tagged from the side. They're holding on, but just barely. And it's dangerous as Akuma swings into the bomb site.
Yeah, Electronic also looked quite nervous. A bit sporadic in his aim, and they were a little bit late and hesitant. You're right. Bit didn't want to peek out, didn't want to swing wide, and they gave a lot more position, perhaps, to Akuma than they needed to, as Sergey's now going to try and come back from the window above. Shot toward bench. Simple's underneath. They'll hear that ring out. They know exactly where he is now, and he'll position the AK accordingly, but has to be careful. 21 HP. That man can go down with a single deagle shot to any part of his body, and Simple's lost the element of surprise on the angle as Sergey manages to jump under, excuse me. Flashed. Simple tried to peek. Sergey gets around the corner. Not spotted. Are those deal with it glasses that are okay? They're like eyes. I thought it was like the deal with it pixel glasses that were on their shirt when I first saw it, but fair enough. They're trying to deal with it right now, Jason.
Are they eyes?
1-on-3.
They look like little feathers.
Are they feathers? They look like demon eyes. Maybe they are feathers. You're probably right. Look, we'll go with either. Isn't like Akuma the devil and like or some sort of like fire god?
I don't know, but if he's a fire god, why are the eyes yellow?
Yeah, you're right. This is all mess. Well, flames can be yellow, just the colder version of flames. Comparatively.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll allow it.
I mean, normally you go with like orange and a shade of yellow, not just straight up yellow.
Well, they can do what they want.
It's also a Street Fighter character.
Fair.
No yellow in his animations, though. Good kills towards top mid. For Bit and Electronic, even Boomich getting an assist. And yeah, this should be an easy one. Psycho's back towards A. Simple's already pushed up. Simple's about to have a good time. I think he's been spotted by Sensei. And he's going to try and set a trap with his teammates.
I like the push. I like the aggression. Electronic gets Jackie down, and Simple's still gonna wait. I thought he might try and go on this. Look at them watching. They know. They know he's up there. They know your tricks, Simple. They've really got nothing to lose on this side. 1 P250 for Sensei, but Simple wants to farm up some cash. Teammates now with all rifles. Mind you, one of them is the budget rifle. As they jump in and try and bait him out, he'll get one more kill. Doesn't even matter that he loses the MP9 at this point because he's up to $6,200 pre-end of the round. So that means he'll be happily, I assume, on the AWP next round, Jason, as Electronic takes down Psycho. And we get ready for the first gun.
Gun round. Yes.
Gun round. Yes, I'm sorry. I was implying that, but I should be clear. You're right.
3-1. All AKs across the board for Akuma. Decent amount of utility, missing 1 smoke on Surges. And here we go. 4 players towards the A bomb site. Now, the strategy like this caught NAVI off guard yesterday a couple times, just walking up a ramp. So the question is, oh, they're going to whip out the molly. They're going to run right through it, right towards the end. Boomich, he's struggling and he's dropped. There's another follow-up from Electronic, and he can hold on just a little bit for his teammates to rotate over.
Yeah, and you're right. There you go. It wasn't quite the walk-up this time, but they went quickly, and Boomich wants to play the headshot spot under Shadow, that right next to the Cinder. I think he could have fallen back a little bit further there, because they committed to Tetris. They opened the angle on him. Simple now in Catwalk. No smokes down, trying to look back toward the A site bomb. Is going to go plant closer to the Shadow position, the double box. So they'll be able to cover that off from Palace. No one on the flank. This will be a retake from Jungle, Connector, and 2 from CT, with a great open plant for the T's. They pretty much have to clear everyone out. This is going to go down to all 4 players being involved on both sides. Watch for the bait pull. Bait goes through the smoke. Doesn't even need the bait to come out from Sandwich. I thought if he stole the aggro, they might try and jump around, but they didn't clear Palace when they did go. And Sensei is able to get 2 back, as Bit and Perfecto are perfect on the mark. As they get yet another round, they've got a kit, so no problem. I'm getting used to the peeping sounds again, Jason, and it's 4-1.
It's coming back like riding a bike. Now, those kinds of strategies...
You keep saying that. I feel like you're trying to poke fun at my arm, man.
Yeah, I think it's really the only saying I've got, you know. I think for this situation, it's the only one I have in my repertoire. The strategies like that are so cool, and they get you into the bomb site really well. The problem is when the Akuma executes that and they get into the site and they get the bomb planted, they had 1 flashbang left for the entire round. So Electronic plays that really good, gets the equalizer and just stays alive, because you know they're spending all their economy, or excuse me, all their utility to get into the site. They won't have anything to hold back the retake, while Navi has all the Molotovs, all the smokes, and all the flashes necessary. So you're just trading timings on the advantages, and Navi's able to have an easy retake. Relatively easy retake, I should say.
So Bit with a bit of utility down to the underpass to hold off the take from middle. No boost going to come in just yet. Scout for Sensei. They've already lost Dem.
Now we're going with Dem.
What are you going with?
I don't know. I'm fine with Dem.
What were you going to go with?
I don't know. I just put it in our production chat to see if anyone could inform me the best way to pronounce that name.
Yeah, because like Boomich, right? Like,
yeah,
as if I'm like got that without
wondering if
us.
those are like the QQ is like characters that mean something somewhere.
Dimuk?
Yeah, maybe. But let's go with Dem for now.
What about Jakey? Is it Jakey or Jecky?
That's Jecky.
It is Jecky. That's what I was going with. But I was just making sure, you know, because you never know these days. Some people's kids.
Some people.
Well, right now, Bit will hold and actually, no, going to rotate. I thought he was going to hold over toward B and get ready for a take, but they are unsure and unaware with the information. Electronic, a good find. Bottom side of middle as they wanted to go for the boost up, but then a flurry of frags as Simple finds another, but Bit gets in good position, slides out from jungle. They lose 2 in that round to a relatively weak buy. In fact, an eco round entirely from Akuma, but Navi still defend their 5th, and there's plenty, well, plenty of money on Perfecto and Simple. Electronic obviously going down. Okay, Bit's got 12,000. So yeah, they're fine for a few rounds. Meanwhile, this will be Akuma going all in.
Here we go. They got the op on board into hands of Sensei. Simple as well on the other side of things. Is going to take his towards the window. Some potential for a little bit of battle. Simple's done the jump towards Catwalk, and now he's got the angle, and he knows mid's clear. He knows nobody's crossed over. This is real passive from Akuma. Just now starting to creep up towards mid. I think they're going for, yeah, run boost here. See if Surges can make it across. Ooh, stops a little bit short and Simple misses. Now the op's in position and no more re-peeking from Na'Vi.
Yeah, they can't afford that. They've lost a bit of control in middle. Simple's going to rotate actually all the way back into B, despite that he could still control from Catwalk potentially, but doesn't want to get into that awkward situation. So he'll go bench instead. This makes it a full 3-2 split defensively, but they are going to get aggressive on A as a response because they need a little bit of information. So Boomich goes down inside Cave with Electronic to play off and cover Palace behind him so that he doesn't get segregated or held out. Problem is, it's all 5 in middle right now from Akuma. And Bit has to be so careful because Psycho's already in a position to jump inside of window. And Bit's going to focus on that, which means now Connector is open. Thankfully, a closed angle being played from Electronic, because again, we mentioned Palace being a problem for Boomich. Well, now, Jungle's a problem for all of them. They're going to realize it, but Bit's only going to get 1. Psycho comes through the window, times it perfectly. As soon as that aggro came in, the trade happens, and now Electronic and Boomich need to turn around. Good news is, with all of them coming from middle, Boomich doesn't have to worry about his backside. He can focus strictly. Oh, look at Psycho. This is going to be a huge lure. I think this round goes to Akuma, undoubtedly now as Perfecto. He will at least get bomb. He's going to think he has a chance with 13 seconds left, but it's over now. Psycho gets behind.
Yeah, problem is you're right. Boomich doesn't have to focus on A-ramp, doesn't have to worry about Palace. Everything's coming from middle, but he doesn't know it at that point, does he? He doesn't know the numbers are all 5 are there, so he still has to respect it at the very least. That's a tough round. And yeah, you know, you get that push towards A-ramp. That's really nice. It makes it pretty safe for Boomich. You have Electronic in the site watching halls, 2 at the B bomb site. That puts the weak part on Bit, who's got to cover 2 really tough positions. The window, as we saw, and obviously coming up Connector. That's the weak spot in the defense, and it's exactly where Akuma attacked. Unfortunate for Na'Vi, and a second round on the board for Akuma.
And they'll go straight back to guns on the Na'Vi side. As we said, they had money for at least 1 more buy, but look how quickly that money can be spent. I just finished saying Bit had $12,000. Well, now he's at a buyout. He bought buy in the last round, and then he's at a buyout for his teammates in this one, and this becomes last buy for Na'Vi, so a huge round and great potential for Akuma to make this a very even game. Bit flashed off. Perfecto smoked as well. Bit's gone. Removed. Great B take. And I have to say, Na'Vi, they seem to be getting overwhelmed in that B position. They're going to call the save already.
Yeah, this was a tough point of the map for them yesterday as well. The B bomb site had a couple really dicey rounds in it. When Na'Vi was on the CT side, you can see it again here. It is so difficult to stop those B execs with all of this kind of utility. It sometimes comes down to just those first engagements, and those go the way of Akuma this time around. We saw Bit looking a little bit shaky there and a little bit hesitant there at different points during the in the early stages of this half in his fight selection at a couple attacks that Akuma had at the B bomb site. So that'll be something they want to shore up. But yeah, smart of Na'Vi to save this. We saw it yesterday as well. Good economy management. Playing it very, very well. And I think Simple should be able to drop an M4 over to a teammate. He's got plenty of utility. So should be able to give another rifle over to a teammate and have another chance at it.
Well, that save called early is exactly for that reason. It does let the economy get a little more established on the Akuma side, but better to have guns and fight twice than give away 2 rounds more than being on a save. Simple on the AWP. $0 left. Doesn't matter if he doesn't have money, because It's the op. He just wants to hit that shot, my man. He's got utility to go with it. They've already got the kill on Dem, so Simple's going to hold back passively on window and see if they're going to work up catwalk. Actually going to rotate off entirely now, so this will be an interesting call as to whether he wants to rotate. Okay. I say he does one thing and then he does the other, so he just backs out of it and then holds again, but I was going to see an interesting call as to which way he goes in A or B because they've got so much forward stance in A, but they don't have a ton of information at this point. This is the one thing with NAVI right now. They've got a reasonably sound positioning for defensively, conservatively, but not a ton of information.
No, not a ton of information at all. But a man advantage. Always helpful.
True.
Boomich gonna creep up behind the smoke over towards stairs. This time it's an op. Watching for that window jump, and Boomich, ooh, good nade. That flashbang doesn't hit him. Easy mow down for Boomich and Electronic as they come through. Flashbang not as effective as Akuma would have liked, and the op has nothing to do. I have an update for you, Matt. DemQQ is Demk.
Demk.
It's like a K at the end.
Yeah, that's fair. So he's not crying. It's just Demk. All right, I can live with that. That's fine. Cool. This is why we ask these questions. It's better to be sure. Like I say, if we never asked about Boomich, like Boomla.
Boombla's pretty cool, though. I actually kind of wish that we had stuck with Boombla.
Boombla? I think Boomich sounds cool. I like hard consonant sounds because it lets you emphasize them with more aggression. And I think aggression is important in FPS when you're trying to kill each other in the video game. So it's kind of nice.
That's fair. Yeah. Boombla is just kind of fun to say.
Boomla is yeah, it's kind of cool. You're right. All right. They saved the AWP.
My first memory of him is like the show match at one of the E-League majors when he was on Quantum Bellator Fire.
Oh, yes.
And the crowd just kept chanting at him, and he was just like loving it. He was living the dream. And that's a Boombla moment. That's not a Boomich moment. That's like a very Boombla-esque.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Definitely a moment for us all to remember that we said it wrong, and it will live on forever. Said.
Shout out to Zipnix.
Yeah, that's right. Ipex. Zipnix. How was it that Kerrigan said they used to say it?
I have no idea. I can't follow all that.
I think it was Cypex is what they used to say in the game or something.
It's like there's a window of opportunity for you to be able to correct the commentators of your name before it just gets locked in.
Yeah, that's right. No, at that point, it's on you.
And he missed the window.
I just don't think he cares.
No, he doesn't. That's the other great part about it. Here we go. A hit. Gonna pick up the pace. Sergey's coming right through the smoke at top of A ramp. Electronics got it back away. That leaves Boomich real isolated. He goes down essentially for free. Electronics got one more. And again, just has to hold down the line while the rotations come in. But the plant is gonna go down as the smoke clears. That's actually real dangerous. He's very susceptible to catwalk, but no one peeking off of it.
Ooh. Good Molotov. They know that forces Electronic to have to move, and Jeky's just waiting for the shot. It's less about burning him alive, more about making him have to aggro, have to get on his feet and be mobile. Perfecto forced back away from the window. He's gonna... Misses the shot, a little bit slow in the reactions. Might have been glancing at the radar, trying to get some information or read what his teammates were doing for the setup of the retake, but Demk's gonna get down bit. And it's all on Simple, 1-on-4. Good recovery from Akuma. Again, saving that one AWP. They managed to buy back into this. And 6-4, they're holding on. They're definitely making this awkward for Navi.
Yeah, it's the hits on the extremities of this map. Ooh, the AWP is going to go down on Simple right at the end as well. That hurts.
That does suck. Yeah, to the bomb of all things. That wasn't well thought out.
Well, he got a little bit of damage dealt to him right before the explosion, but yeah, they were going for that retake, and they were just too far in when they decided to call it off, and then Simple was trying to back away as best he could, but he was trapped. Akuma's success. Not finding it when they try and take mid-control and try and execute from there and try and play like a nice standard mid-control-esque style. But when they're just attacking the extremities, when they're going for that, side of the map B hit, when they go for that side of the map A hit, they're getting in, they're getting the bomb planted, and they're winning some of these rounds. They're scraping them together. And I think that's the style they're going to have to stick to for the rest of this half.
So 3-2 top mid. And a slow creep okay, so this is a change up from Navi. They've got two players. Yes, they're on pistols. Two players up on the Palace. I love how Simple's just got another op again. Whatever.
He's got the op, and Electronic had two flashbangs, so they're just playing the buddy system. Electronic's just in full support mode. Just chucked a flashbang over him for Simple to take that peek towards top mid. They didn't see anything, but Electronic's just going to be there with one flash whenever Simple needs it, whenever he wants to peek something. This one will likely be a flashbang so he can peek from ticket booth towards mid.
Yeah, bounce
Well,
off
actually,
box.
that or he's going to pop flash Boomage into A ramp. Yeah, there it is, the USP. Now Simple's all on his own, the AWP. Other side of the map is where the action is, though.
That AK staring at it perfecto as he gets the first shot with the Deagle, but they go down. Boomage erased it middle by Psycho. And yeah, I mentioned it was a little bit of a different system for them. They haven't really been up on the balcony, excuse me. I wanted to call it B Palace. We'll get over that. Simple, hang on. We're going to get over. Ooh. Oh, my goodness. I was going to say the hump in this round as he nearly took them all down. I thought he was going to line up that third shot. But yeah, we haven't seen them play that aggressive toward B, up on the balcony position or in the halls, so that caught them out a little bit, but unfortunately just couldn't reach that AK, and too many players overwhelmed them again at B.
I thought Simple had that third kill as well. I was ready to build into it.
Ready.
I was ready to get real excited with that one. Very, very close to a highlight play from Simple. 6-5. Akuma has really battled back. They're on a small run, 4-1 run in the last 5 rounds to close the gap in the scoreline.
Boomich underneath Shadow has to get them to swing wide. That means Electronics in perfect position. Where's the Palace peak?
I was late.
Sensei's there, but he didn't swing.
It was late. It's very similar to kind of what they've been doing in this half when they've had this hit. That Palace peak has always been late. It's just Electronic hasn't always just been at the top of the stairs with that angle. Remember the first time they did it as well, Electronic was able to get 1 kill from the top of the stairs, the equalizer, and then he's just able to hide. So that Palace peak is a little bit disconnected from the ramp portion of the hit. This time they pay for it with 2 lives. But I guess now I don't know what Akuma's plan is. Either go back and fake B and the bomb is sticking at A ramp to get a plant, or you're going to have these 2 players see what they can get kind of readdressing towards mid and try and meet up with the bomb in the later stages of the round. Neither of them has a great chance of success.
Well, I like how you've painted that picture for them. Made it a little bit grim.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are you going to do here? You don't really want to let them know that you're moving around on the map, so you don't want to use either of these flashbangs. And yeah, that's basically if you're not going to use flashes, that run boost is your only chance. And you've got 2 players pushed up in mid. Like there was barely even a shot of him getting to fire around at all.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even if the second guy swings, if there's one of them, maybe his game's still set. But like 2 of them there, no chance. Bit finds his 9th and 10th kill of the game in this round, and Sergey now going to try and spam up through smoke, doing everything he can in a 1 versus 5, but Simple will remove him, and we go now to 7 rounds for NAVI. To only the 5 of Akuma, but still close. It's still a 2-round game. They're not out of this by any means. They've got money to buy yet again, even without the plants in that last round. Yeah, that's not, what are you going to do? Run boost into a trap.
Yeah,
just 2 guys scenarios. Sitting there. What, you got info for your team that's about to peek and die in the same way? Just let him know it's coming so he's not as surprised.
Yep. Yeah, just this is how you're going to die, just as a heads up. Simple's dropped out of the window. Mid control for Navi. Electronic is there as well. A little bit blind on both of them, but they're standing their ground. And again, this time it's going to be another A hit towards the extremity, but it's going to be mostly out of Palace, not ramp. They're trying to maybe take advantage of Electronic at those stairs, but Boomich and Bit, they're going to get work done. And again, this A hit falls flat.
Yeah, he's not been, I mean, aside from the round where they kind of ran through the smoke and caught out, it hasn't been as strong as what B has been for them, that's for sure. Also maybe is something that Navi has to start thinking about. We're going to see Psycho right now go for a late lurk. Now, we saw him get through window in a previous round and do a very good job of getting behind the CTs. We'll see if he can do the same here. He's got a player available to kill at, yeah, I was going to say catwalk, but that will now tell them everything they need to know about his position. And the bomb's already down in A, so it's not like Dem can even grab that and start rotating back over. This is just a straight 2v2 for kills at this point in time. It does mean Simple has to respect the fact that Psycho is on that side of the map, and that will divide them. That's why Electronic wants to get aggressive, and he wins that duel. That was crucial to the round. That should actually just secure it on its own, unless Psycho does something absolutely psychotic.
Well, Simple's just looked towards catwalk and towards mid a couple of times and just barely missed the timing. I don't know what Psycho can do here. There's not going to be a lot of time when he actually arrives to the 8 bomb site, and now that Electronic's in Palace, that's like the insurance policy. He's going to have to, yeah, he just has to save. If he was going to, like, if you kind of have to walk this whole way to make this play effective, but you don't have the time for it. So now it's a question, if you're Akuma, as I mentioned, most of their success has been these kind of hits on the extremities, this kind of up ramp towards the A bomb site, these set pieces and executes towards B. Now, 2 rounds in a row, you've tried that kind of a strategy towards the A bomb site, and it's been shut down. So logically, you have to think the next time you have a gun round, you're going to try again towards the B bomb site. And Navi's going to realize this as well, because mid control is not working for you either. So you have to think Navi's going to have some kind of a B lean in their next strategy.
So pistols only a couple of Deagle upgrades, because why not? You never know what a Deagle can do these days. Simple, I thought, was just going to run right up mid there. I honestly thought he was going to have no chill and just rush the op to top mid against pistols, which may not be advised. So he'll hang out inside connector instead. He has electronic in the window, just making sure no one's going to come underpass and catch him out.
Look at the change in the defense, Matt. Like, no longer is Boomage playing inside of the site early on. No longer is Electronic. They're just saying, all right, like, if you're going to keep trying to do these kind of A set pieces, we're content to, like, play a little bit more passive, get 1 or 2 kills. We'll play the retake if you want to go this route.
I mean, it means as well, if they're a little more passive on A, that they can actually rotate over toward B and have more of their mid presence that way. But so far, they're going to go for the anchor. 2 inside mid, Electronic this time at window. Now Simple heads back over toward A, having already found the mid kill. He can start to put his attention on the site itself. Interestingly, they have a good read as to where this is going, because they've got a player that's already anchoring the hall B, and they have a second player on catwalk and Bit that's not hurt anything, so they know there's probably more in mid, considering they've only killed 1 on A. Good oh, wow, Jackie. I was going to say good response to take down Electronic, but now they're actually opening things up with the Deagle. Bit, my friend. You've got to be a little more sure than that. If that was an AK, you might have had a bigger problem, as Boomage this time in Shadow is going to find another. Jackie's going to rotate around. Another 1 Deag from him, and he's got this into a 1-on-2. A real chance here as well, because he can rescue a gun. Can he, though? Where is one that's down? Surely. Okay, he's found it on the top of the stairs position. He got like a P as well.
Yeah, that's a nice little find there. Nice damage done.
Bits found something as well, though, that's quite useful, and that's the bomb. So they know this round has absolutely no chance of going any further, and as such, they'll back off a little bit. But to get 3 kills and pick up an op from only pistols and no armor, that's a good round.
Yeah, the team wouldn't have been able to have an AWP with utility and armor if he didn't find that one. So that's a good thing to get away with, and plenty of money for the rest of the Akuma teammates to drop over an AK-47. Nice round from Jackie. Here we go, final round of the half. As Akuma, they've been blanked these last 3 after a nice little run in the middle portions of this half. They're kind of losing some steam. Back to mid control we go. Electronic, Bit, and Simple on the defense, and Simple and Electronic again just shut it down. Mid control has never worked for Akuma in this half. When Navi's had defense against it and resisted it, Akuma hasn't been able to get anything done.
Well, Simple this time is going to go a little bit more aggressive on the AWP. Jackie's taking damage. Actually wins out against Electronic with a wall bang. That's over at B, and Demp's going to take Simple again, getting caught out being aggressive. Perfecto had to win that duel. He does. Bomb this time will start to rotate back through T-spawn over toward A, because they lost their chance at B, and that's what they were hoping was going to work out. Now it's Sergey last alive for Akuma in this half, and 10-5 looking likely for Navi, but I won't rule it out just yet. We've seen some rounds turn very quickly with fast headshots. Sergey's going to try and do the same now, as the spot's been a ticket. 50 seconds. He's going to use all of it. Straight Palace, which seems fine considering it had information as toward where one was at ticket booth. But remember, Boomage has been playing aggressively at the shadow position. Good smoke. That buys more time. Yeah, he's going to stare at that and go, God damn it. It's 10 more seconds, Jason. We're going to be down to 20. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's also like, oh,
he's going to knife. He's just going to...
Now they know exactly where I am, is also what he's saying.
And he's dead. Boomage, good peek. 10-5 indeed. Navi take the first half.
Yeah, good first half. Tested a little bit there, but they figured it out. Good adaptations on the defense, falling out of that A bomb site, letting them have it if they need be, and just going for retakes. 5-round lead, and that's a 5-round lead with losing the pistol. You're going to be extremely happy with that if you're Navi.
That's a good point. Yeah, they did lose the pistol. Obviously won, and what a pistol it was by Sergey as well. That was just foolish. Or sorry, by Sensei. That was foolish to get the ace. But yeah, you're right. They won the next round right after. They looked really solid. And then from there, actually went on a run. There was a chance in that half that Akuma was going to come back when the economy started to get tight. That's where Navi struggled yesterday, is when they started to lose the economy, it really spiraled for them. So managed to keep it together this time with a few good save calls. Psycho's going to hold from stairs. Decky back at triple stack. Couple of quick shots, does manage to find Boomich. Good accuracy from Decky so far. We saw those 2 8 Deagle shots as well. He's got another one on Perfecto this round with the USP. Glock at range. Dem's gonna just work out from the smoke pit. Only manages to get 1. But it's still the man advantage for Akuma. Sensei gets tagged down 14 this time. No ace available to him, but we'll see if he can still make a resounding effort in this pistol round. Simple's gone aggressive. He's gonna sneak around behind them. This could catch them out.
It gives options to Electronic as well. Ooh, he spots one there. Electronic's waiting to see if he can get a kill, if it's better for him to go to the B bomb site, but he's going to come right back now as Simple retreats. Almost gets caught. He might be okay to take that duel, but the longer this takes, the more impact this flank is going to have. It's Sensei with low HP trying to go all the way around through T-spawn. Bomb getting planted. Simple and Electronic still have a lot of work to do.
Good shot on Demk. Yeah, good read as well by Sergey. It's just to check that position and be aware that Simple could be on the flank. And as soon as he was compromised, it was the right call to come back toward A because he couldn't get there anymore. And we already saw that they were pushing up for information on B, which is exactly where Sensei's going to arrive from, back toward A main. Simple, aware of it, sees the headshot, sees them both inside of the site. That's going to give Electronic information. That lets him peek on one side, but Sensei's won the duel against Simple. He's low HP. He's going to win it against Electronic as well. And Sensei seems to be the pistol hero, but no time. So he's going to have to run this one away, and Navi will pick up round number 11.
Yeah, that's fantastic shooting from Sensei. Really unfortunate. I mean, with low HP, you got to take your time on that flank. There was no other way he could have played it. If he plays it any quicker, it likely goes down. And really, really tough loss for Akuma. But good win from Navi. Good shooting from Simple, and good delaying from Simple Electronic. Not overcommitting and using that bomb very, very well. But those USPs were deadly. So Deagle's invested, CZ on Sergey's, and Demk with the SMG, AKs, Galil, MAC-10s for the Navi side of things.
Double smoke window, communication boys. Double the density. Maybe anticipating that if the Molotov's out, the first one will extinguish it, the second one will bounce. I'm just looking for silver linings here, Jason. Perfecto already inside of the B site. Sergey going to try and cover him off. CZ-75, smoke on his left side, so he's at least covered from the man, but that also means he has no information as to who's coming in behind him. They've got to be quicker than that. Finally, Bit will take him down as Psycho gets Electronic.
No. These Deagles, man.
Yeah, it's actually concerning. I mean, they were a little bit too slow to get the trade inside of the B site. That was essentially one for free. Bomb's planted. Simple's got 3 HP. That MP9's going to just mow him down.
Well, that's why he's playing at the headshot angle and trying to be real tough to hit. Flashbangs are out. Here we go, Bit. He can't overextend. Simple needs to give him some kind of cover. Good reposition. Simple's going to take contact, and Bit's got the kill. That should save the round. It's still in a little bit of danger, but no kit, and there's the cleanup. But it's dicey. Again, not a pretty win, but we're going to take it.
Yeah, they'll take it. Absolutely. Man, that earthquake's been going on for a while. It's insane. Off the Richter scale.
It's breaking the entirety of the Richter scale. This is tough. I feel like I was really confused on how Navi had, like, the protocol to enter into this bomb site. I think the first kill that came out was the second of the MAC-10s. Hold the thought for a second. Simple going to take a quick duel. Gets the nice headshot. I think the first part of the Navi had to have been the other MAC-10 because it was only Perfecto trying to wrap around the bomb site. No one was actually aggressive on the sole defender that was at that bomb site. They gave a lot of opportunities to Akuma, who are getting opportunities again here in round 18.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Perfecto has to back away slightly at the B site as Psycho. Looking for more information down toward Connector as Sergey will hold at B. Bomb inside of A main at this point in time. Boomich is going to rotate back around. Bit's the one holding on to it. So the fact that it's a 3-on-3 is concerning again because Akuma continuing to get decent kills and cost the T's money, but it's a very spread thin 3 on the defending side, and Psycho's even checking toward the stairs. They're pinching at B halls. And they're going to realize now this is back toward A. So the time to strike for NAVI, little do they know what we do. Obviously, we've got kind of a nice view here. We can see everything. Although, apparently during the online era, some people could see everything too. But Depths under pressure because NAVI needs to go. Bounce off the box to Shadow. He gets stuck on the ladder. Not the greatest of movement. Perfecto capitalizes with a headshot. Sergey's already made it to Ticket, though, and the bomb's not in yet. So still they can find headshots, which Psycho's going to try and do on the player jumping at Sandwich. It could have been costly, and Sergey now knows that they're inside, and bomb planted, I'd say round's probably secure, but what more damage can they do? What economic damage can they do? Perfecto down. AK dinked. Bit's got to be careful. He finds another. Suddenly, there's a chance. I know it's a very slim one, but again, economic factors already dealt with. Keep them close to this bomb, surely. He'll go down before I think we get to a detonation point, but he's still trying to bait them back and forth. Play the boxes, play the angles. Psycho works in, Bit's got him down.
NAVI played that really well in that 3-on-2. And I know it seemed a little bit almost kind of silly because, you know, they're going up against pistols. They were very calm, very calculated, making sure they were taking easy duels and not trying to press the issue too fast. 13-5. Guns come out, but that's two pretty sketchy rounds out of NAVI that they've got to feel like they almost dropped either one of those. We'll see how the gun rounds go. AWP on Sensei. We don't have one out on the board yet for Simple and NAVI on the T side.
Mid aggression. And the CT's on the gun round. They'll make contact with Boomich. That pushes him back slightly. Smoke to top of jungle stairs and then jungle itself. Jackie works back out from triple stack. Gap towards Sandwich, but he needs to be aware they're actually rotating firebox. Oh, Boomich. He's gonna get spread surely. Yeah, I would fire into that, absolutely. They had no idea Jackie was that close. Bit will take him down after the fact, but bomb was dropped. That'll slow things down. And remember, the reason that's important is, although they've got the man advantage, the smokes have now dissipated pre-plant. And that means Bit has to go aggressive to get another kill just to get that bomb down. And they've got line of sight for when they cross and try and hold post-plant position. So Bit's best chance is to try and go forward potentially toward Ticket, but he hasn't. And Sergey's going to sneak up this way. He's still holding the angle Bit. He only has 7 HP, so perhaps a little bit too timid to try and take that fight on his own.
I think they're setting
Sensei's
up for exit frags, Matt. I don't think they're going for this.
Cowards. They might now. They might now, because Simple taking down. Sergey puts his attention on jungle. Good time to strike, but you're right. They're still not really scurrying into the site without the kits. So, hey, good damage done again, though. They're keeping the economy as close as they can. The problem is the scoreline doesn't match. As we now 14-5 in favor of NAVI.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's all well and good, but those silver linings we like to bring up every once in a while to bail teams out of tough spots doesn't really matter anymore. 14-5, you got to get past the silver lining. You got to get past those moral victories and start having some real ones to chalk up on the scoreboard. AK-47 in the hands of Sergis, and yeah, even when they get those 2 kills, if they had kits, yeah, probably would have gone for it. Sensei had already maneuvered himself out of that retake. Huge lead and dominant performance so far from NAVI. Outside of one 5-round stretch in the first half where Akuma went 4 for 4 and 1 and won 4 out of 5 rounds, it's been all NAVI. That was like the one bright spot that Akuma can point to.
And I'm actually going to say that if they win one more round after that, they break the economy, and we probably get something like 7, maybe even 8 rounds for Akuma in the first half. But yeah, otherwise, it's just been an all-NAVI game. Jackie waits. Reverse side firebox. I used to love this position because it often goes overlooked, but oh, it's going to get overlooked this time. But I was going to say teams are more common in checking it. Boomich doesn't want to wait too much longer. Unfortunately, gets flashed right after because he had a chance to swing. The player was directly in front of him, top Sandwich, and then on top of the balcony. He could have easily seen them both. Electronics got eyes on everyone. Headshots aplenty, and he wins back in a 1-on-3. So 15-5 now, NAVI. We get map point relatively early, Jason. I won't say it too soon because yesterday we saw this as well.
Yeah, we've had some teams really struggle to close things out. It doesn't look like NAVI today is going to be one of them, at least in this matchup. This is quite a reversal. Akuma going from beating them 16-2 on this map just a month ago to now just getting plastered. 15-5 at the moment, and NAVI have 10 chances to close this one out.
Psycho.
Psycho killer.
You gonna keep going with that?
Nah. That was good.
Was it?
No,
Was it good?
not. I mean, it felt good for me. It wasn't probably good for anyone else.
Okay. As long as you feel good about it.
That's what
That's all
I'm
that
here
matters,
for.
Jason. Yeah.
I'm selfish. It's me.
Hey, sometimes you got to look out for yourself, you know? I think selfish is a bad thing, but I think we've learned in like this whole mental health development that you got to take care of yourself to also be good to others, you know?
Yeah,
You don't
amen
look
to
out for
that.
yourself, eventually you're just going to start falling apart at the seams, and then it's going to reflect. So, you know, it's all right to be happy for yourself. Electronic's happy with himself because he gets another headshot, this time through the balcony to Psycho, who is waiting underneath, and Boomich coming in through the window has a chance to try and flank and wrap back into the site. Instead, though, knowing his teammates are already there, he thinks, I'll just go lurking. And lurk he shall as he gets Sergey's dink that hit him come from. That must have been Sergey as he turned back. That was a pretty decent shot, but it was still only a dink.
Well, you also got a Famas, so yeah, the dink, it's takes a couple dinks to get that kill. 16-5. An emphatic victory for NAVI. That is the kind of NAVI we like to see start of the day. Much more convincing than yesterday's matchup. Beautiful stuff. I believe led by Electronic as well. He had a fantastic game. Yeah, all across the board. Everyone did from NAVI.
That was, yeah, much better, I think, in terms of team game. Still a few weaknesses I saw it be on their CT side that maybe could be addressed. The fact that when they stay passive, they seem to get overwhelmed by the utility, and they almost struggle to determine who's going to take the peak. And we saw, I think it was Bit a few times, a little bit hesitant. But look, you can't argue with a result like that, and that backs up what Blade was saying. That's exactly the result they were looking for. I'm sure when the pistol round started and they get aced, they thought, let's not do this again, but
yeah,
they hold it together, and that's all that matters. So good map win from them here.
23 kills on Electronic, 22 kills on Bit. Simple had 18, but those three players are hovering right around 100, averaging 100 ADR between the three of them. So really top-heavy performance from those three from NAVI. And that's tough to match. So good to see Bit performing up to that level within this NAVI squad. Either way, we're going to head to a break. When we come back, it's NAVI's pick. It's going to be Nuke. Akuma's going to be starting on the CT side. We'll see if they can bounce back in this series. Stay tuned.
Наши соперники в группе довольно сильные. СНГ сцена, в принципе, очень сильная сейчас, поэтому легкой как бы игры не будет, и мы настраиваемся на борьбу. То есть все соперники довольно крепкие. Форз, Немига, Гамбит. Вот. Поэтому мы настраиваемся на борьбу. Но чисто на бумаге должны выходить мы и Гамбит. Но, как я и сказал, что СНГ очень конкурентная среда. Команда очень сильная, и могут быть сюрпризы, как бы круговая, могут по очкам считаться в конце, по раундам, поэтому все может быть. Удивить может и Форс, и Немига. Немига — средняя команда, которая может удивить. У них есть сильные индивидуальные игроки, они давно вместе, то есть какой-то тимплей у них сформировался, понимание игры с каждым днем растет, поэтому это опасная команда, к которой нужно относиться с уважением. То есть мы обычно пересекаемся на РМР-турнирах. У нас РМР-турниры, как правило, проседают немножечко по отношению к другим более крупным турнирам европейским. Поэтому, возможно, где-то там статистика не очень-то и высокая. Как я сказал, нужно ее смотреть. Статистику я не помню. Ну, хотелось бы с ними встретиться еще раз после прошлого РМР и показать уже более достойную игру с нашей стороны. Опять же, хорошо то, что StarLadder сделал максимум для того, чтобы это было максимально честное соревнование. То есть, в принципе, все факторы повысить до максимума, чтобы нельзя было нигде играть нечестным путем. И это радует. Поэтому мы в предвкушении этого матча и хотим показать свой максимум. Мы команда, которую часто могут другие анализировать, собирать какую-то информацию по нам. и нас могут изучить, подготовить хороший геймплан. То есть все может быть. Команда Немига в этом плане очень боеспособна. Поэтому, как я сказал, ждем борьбы. Вот. Будет легкая игра, не знаю, но не хотелось бы. То есть, в принципе, намного лучше, когда у нас первая игра не легкая, наоборот, а сложная. Тогда мы включаемся в игру, в турнир втягиваемся быстрее и форму турнирную набираем быстрее.